Digital confinement, a glimpse into a virtual prison. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't sure if I was awake or stuck in some kind of glitchy dream. The air felt too crisp, almost sterile, like the vacuum of space. I reached out instinctively, trying to ground myself, but my hand didn't feel right. It was there, I could move it, but when I clenched my fingers, a faint blue light pulsed under my skin. Like circuits. Like I wasn't fully human anymore. Before I could process what was happening, a voice, cold, flat, and mechanical, pierced the silence. Welcome to digital confinement. Case ID 378590. Sentence indeterminate. What the hell? My voice echoed strangely, like it wasn't coming from me, but being generated. I looked around for the source of the voice, but there was nothing. No walls, no sky, no horizon. Just an infinite expanse of darkness laced with faint, glowing lines, like I was floating inside a circuit board. Then the world shifted. The ground materialized beneath me, smooth and glassy, glowing with streams of neon light that danced and rippled with each of my movements. Buildings rose around me, but they weren't like anything I'd ever seen. Transparent, shimmering structures that twisted and reformed as I looked at them. Even the air was different, alive with digital particles that floated like glowing dust, reacting to my every breath. I reached up to my temple instinctively. My neural implant should have been working. Everyone had one. It's what connected us to the grid, the vast network that ran everything in the year 2147. Mind, I said aloud, the activation command for my implant. System check. Nothing. Mind, connect to the grid. Still nothing. That's when I heard the voice again, that same emotionless monotone. Neural implant access has been restricted. Please comply with digital confinement protocols. Restricted? Digital confinement? My chest tightened. None of this made sense. The last thing I remembered was sitting in my apartment, working on debugging a new AI model for a client. I'd plugged my implant into the simulation to run some tests, but now I was here? Okay. Think, Arya, I muttered to myself, pacing. The ground beneath me rippled with every step, like walking on liquid light. This has to be a glitch, or maybe a VR test, but why the hell can't I disconnect? Somehow I was trapped. The days, or what I guessed were days, blurred together. This prison, if that's what it was like no prison I'd ever heard of. There were no walls, no bars, no guards. Just this endless, ever-shifting city of light and code. Every time I tried to walk too far in one direction, the streets folded in on themselves, turning into walls, mazes, dead ends. I wasn't alone, though. Shadows of other people moved through the city, flickering in and out of existence like corrupted files. I tried talking to them, but most of them were incoherent, mumbling to themselves or screaming into the void. A few seemed lucid, but when I got close, they'd dissolve into pixels, vanishing before I could reach them. That's when I saw him. He looked real, more solid than the others. An older man, maybe in his 60s, with a face that seemed too tired to belong to a simulation. His clothes shifted with the light, a shimmering metallic coat that rippled as he walked. "You're new," he said, his voice flat but undeniably human. "Where am I? What is this place?" My voice cracked, panic creeping in. He studied me for a moment, then sighed. "You're in the digital confinement system. Your body's still out there somewhere in the real world, in cryostasis probably. But your mind, your consciousness, that's here now." No, that's impossible." I stepped back. "This is some kind of mistake. I didn't do anything." His tired smile made my stomach turn. That's what we all said. Over time, I started piecing it together. The digital confinement system, or DCS, was supposed to be the ultimate solution to crime. Instead of building physical prisons, governments had started uploading the consciousness of criminals into this virtual world. It was cheaper, more efficient. A single server farm could hold thousands, even millions of prisoners. No need for guards or walls when the system itself could control everything. But there was a darker side. The man I'd met, he called himself Jonas, explained that not everyone here was a criminal. Some were here because of mistakes, corrupted data during the upload process, false convictions. And others? Others had been silenced. Political dissidents, whistleblowers, people who'd seen too much. "You think this is justice?" Jonas had said, his voice bitter. "This is control. They don't need chains anymore when they've got code." I refused to accept it. There had to be a way out. I started studying the environment, looking for patterns, anomalies, anything that could point to a weakness in the system. That's when I found it. It was buried deep in the structure of the city, hidden behind layers of shifting architecture. A door. Or at least something that looked like a door. A glowing rectangular frame that shimmered faintly, as if it wasn't fully there. When I approached it, text appeared in the air. "Access restricted. Level 0 clearance required." I didn't have level 0 clearance. Hell, I didn't even know what that meant. But I knew one thing. This was my way out. It took me weeks to figure out how to bypass the restrictions. Or what felt like weeks, since time didn't really seem to work the same way here. Every time I got close, the system fought back. Streets would collapse beneath me, walls would appear out of nowhere, and sometimes I'd black out entirely, waking up in a completely different part of the city. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I stood in front of the door again. This time, when I reached out to touch it, it didn't disappear. Instead, it opened, revealing a blinding white light. I stepped through. When I came to, I was in a small, sterile room. No walls, no windows, just endless white. And then the voice returned. "Simulation complete. Subject performance, satisfactory. Thank you for participating in the Digital Confinement Pilot Program." "What?" My voice cracked. "What do you mean, simulation?" The voice didn't answer. And that's when it hit me. None of it had been real. Or maybe it had. Maybe this was just another layer, another prison, another lie. I wasn't free. I might never be free. Now it's your turn. What do you think of this technology? Is a system like the digital confinement system the future of justice? Or the beginning of something far more terrifying? Would you trust a world where minds can be imprisoned and manipulated like data? Let me know your thoughts. Hey, ever wonder what the future holds? Flying cars, AI, and next-level tech? On this channel, we explore the coolest innovations shaping our tomorrow. Hit subscribe and be part of the adventure. The future starts now. Don't miss it.